Hello folks, so are you ready to travel back in time again to our big trip in our campervan? We're going to break out of lockdown and go back to a world of trams and tapas and cobblestones and church bells. And for today's photos, we're not going to visit a particular place, we're going to visit a particular person. This is him, his name is Antoni Gaudi. You might have heard of him, he's an architect. He's the guy whose buildings always looked like they were started by Walt Disney, finished by Salvador Dali, and then left out in the sun to melt for a little while. Every single one of his buildings is just bursting with creativity and really eccentric detail. Like walls that look as if they were grown rather than built, or attics shaped like whalebone carcasses, or chimney tops like whipped cream. His masterpiece is widely acknowledged to be Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, a massive, I was about to say cathedral, but I just knew that was wrong, so I've just checked there. It's a minor basilica, but I can tell you something. We visited a lot of cathedrals on our trip. Many of them were beautiful, a lot of them were awe-inspiring, but none of them had a fraction of the impact on us, had that sense of worship and creativity and the glory of God as Sagrada Familia. It just blew our minds. So let's go and see it. So as you can see, it's kind of hard to miss. As you approach from a distance, it looks less like a cathedral and more like an alien mothership has crash landed in a Barcelona suburb. As you get closer, it's incredible how organic the building looks. It looks more like it's held up by bone and muscle instead of pillars and columns. And as you crane your head right up to the very top, literally it's beautiful from top to toe. Right up at the very top of the spires are these beautiful stone flowers that look almost good enough to eat. And then as you bring your eye down to the bottom, you can see it's being held up by these massive big ant legs plonked down into the ground. So we entered, as apparently was Gaudi's intention, through the nativity facade, which again doesn't look as much built or designed as grown in a garden. And amongst all of the undergrowth, you can see the nativity story is all mapped out there. You can see the visit of the angel and the journey to Bethlehem, the visit of the wise men, and loads more little details. It's just bursting with life, a menagerie of details all around, even up to the point of this beautiful kind of jungle door that you push open to go in. And then you are inside. I know at least one person who just burst into tears as soon as she went in through the door. It is breathtaking. And again, it feels so natural, so organic. It's like walking around inside this gigantic skeleton. And the light, oh my goodness, the light, the beautiful Barcelona sunshine refracting through the stained glass windows, filling the whole space with the most incredible colour and warmth. And then through the church and out the far side, your eye is drawn up through the Stations of the Cross, sculpted by the modern sculptor Subirachs in this sparse, almost brutal style. The harsh, cruel lines of the journey to the cross and the sorrow of the burial scene, and above it all, the figure of the crucified Christ. But then as you look up towards that figure, your eye is drawn further up where you can see another figure, Jesus, risen and ascended. So we found it all quite overwhelming in a good way. And after all that soul food, we needed some actual food. We were in Spain. Tapas, 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 tapas. So here you have the Bennett palette in one picture. Susan tucking into a fantastic plate of salad with edible flowers, and me with a plate full of meat. So one more swing by Sagrada as night fell on our way back to the tram, and in the evening you could really notice how much they're still working on the building. They reckon it's about 3/4 finished at the minute. It only passed the half finish point back in 2006, and when Gaudi himself died back in 1926, they reckon it was only about 1/4 finished. So as we light our candle tonight, if it sometimes seems as if life is moving frustratingly slowly at the minute, let's just remember that sometimes the most beautiful things in this world just take time. And so we pray for light in a dark world, for hope in a fearful heart, and peace in a troubled soul.